What's up, everybody? I'm Duke James, Ottoman Empire. Alright, I have a couple merchants. I actually took the merchants thing off over here because I had like 50 during my Portuguese campaign, so I put it back. I'm going to put a merchant in the Anatolian node and then a merchant in the Danube node. Probably not going to do much trading. I'm definitely not going to get much money from trading right now. Probably for the most of the campaign, actually. Death of Suleiman Pasha. To the despair of our great Sultan Orhan, his favored heir Suleiman has tragically lost his life in a hunting accident at the frontier. The loss of his treasured son has seen Orhan's health take a turn for the worse, leaving many functions of state in the hands of his second son, Murad. Alright, so our 444 Suleiman Osmanli, 45-year-old dies. Murad Osmanli, 546, with a strong claim, becomes the new heir. He's converted to a general of 4532, and General Lala Sahin Pasha, 3433, becomes available for duty. So we lose our heir, place him with somebody that is 3 monarch points better, and we get a free 3433 general. And he actually stayed a 546 ruler. What is this? We have a couple modifiers. Rum Sultanate claimed. Diplomats +1, morale of armies +5%. We are the rightful heir of the Seljuk Turks. We'll finish what they started. That expires in 20 years. We have tribal origins. Cav flanking ability +5%. Cavalry to infantry ratio +10%. Enables increased recruitment from nomads. This expires in 10 years. Anatolian power. Monthly war exhaustion -0.01. We're a major power. Share of Anatolian dev 22.6%. Share of all Beylik dev 23.8%. Yeah, so this is absolutely a Italy situation through and through. I wasn't thinking that this was very fleshed out, but this is very fleshed out, actually. Alright, yeah, our executive authority is 60 ruler authority, 40 institutional authority, so I think whatever monarch points our ruler is probably going to stay those. Oh, actually, he's a... Okay, our current ruler is at 445. Yeah. Okay, so this guy will probably... His monarch points will change when he takes over. It'll probably become like a 555, I'm thinking. Something like that. We do have more ruler authority, which, if you have higher institutional authority than ruler authority, you get more even monarch points when your guy takes over. That's just, I think, so like if you had a 000, it would become like a 222 if you had like 50, I think it's like 50 ruler authority split. 50 ruler authority, 50 institutional authority, and then if you had like a 000, it'd become like a 222, something like that. But if you have more ruler authority, if you had like 100 ruler authority, then I don't think your monarch points would change at all. So we'll probably see some change, but I'm not entirely sure what that would end up at. Factions. Okay, they added resting points to the faction screen, so that's good. Resting point aristocrats is 2. Yeah, that's good because over 300 years of a campaign, resting points will change, and it's hard to know where they sit. But they should gravitate towards that resting point, so... All of these people will decline, except the chiefs and the bureaucrats will just stay at 0. Unless something changes. Privileged desires, I don't think this is in the game yet. At least it's all 0s, so... Not right now, at least. Maybe on the yearly tick. Exhaustive drilling. Okay, we changed to exhaustive drilling. No, it was exhaustive. It was exhaustive drilling, actually. I think that's the 4th out of 6 Country modifiers. I believe that discipline goes up to 6%, 5 or 6%. Actually, just see. Exhaustive drilling. Maybe a couple people. Baptism by boot camp might actually be the highest, so it might be 5. So we're 1 below the highest. And then, of course, on the opposite spectrum, there is political anarchy, negative 10%. No, that's something different. Yeah, Fez has baptism by boot camp. They also have political anarchy. That's rough. 95% discipline for Fez. I think that's one of the modifiers that you can get rid of as Fez. Game definitely wants Fez to die. AI Fez to die. Really nobody below, actually. Ordinary regulars. Interesting. At least that I know of. There's probably people in the country, in the world. Anyway, we have a bunch of generals now. Investment manager. Alright, we lost a stability point. Caramon embraced meritocracy. Can't actually do investment manager because I don't want them to automatically invest in urban properties. So, just gonna go ahead and ignore that. All investment will be manual. Okay, and since I have no claims on a country that I can attack, I have to wait to get those claims before I can fight somebody. But if I wanted to, I could fight right now, I believe. Yeah, it's outside of the time frame. Alright, Murad is taken over. Our previous guy was pretty old. Nope, he's still 546. Okay. That's good if you have a good ruler. Bad if you have a crap ruler. Faction alignment. Negative 50% progress towards stability. That's still the same. Or you could continue with the current leadership. Negative 10 aristocrats, negative 10 spiritualists, negative 10 chiefs. Aristocrats are actually at 24. They're at 26. Spiritualists are at 24. Chiefs I don't really care about, so I'll probably just continue with the current leadership, save those progress towards stability, and these guys aren't that bad, so I'll do that. Bailic diplomacy. This happens every single time your ruler takes over. Alright, we'll do Anatolia will be ours. Put that guy in charge. Murad is a 5-4-3-2, so when I go to war, I definitely want to use him. Losing about a ducat. A little bit of missionaries, 0.5 to advisors, 0.8 to fort maintenance. We have 3 forts. The investment hasn't factored in that province yet. We have 9 corruption. It's increasing by 1 per year. I also added this. So there's now anti-corruption measures that you can just hit and lose corruption. Leveraging the elites. Costs 0.05 yearly legitimacy, 25 dip. You get plus 12 relations between the bureaucrats and the state. Negative 25% progress towards stability. Negative 33% corruption impact of elites for 10 years. You lose 5 state corruption and negative 20 elite loyalty. Okay. You could overturn the status quo. So for 2 stability points, you lose negative 10 relations between the bureaucrats and the state. You lose 5 state corruption and negative 10 bureaucracy corruption. For 15% stability increase interval. So if you're in a position where you have a lot of stability increase interval, your stability points are pretty high, you could just do this and lose 10 bureaucracy corruption, which seems pretty powerful. You could raise administrative wages. For a plus 2.5% stability increase interval, 25 admin, lose 25% progress towards stability, and plus 33% wages for bureaucrats for 10 years. So the lower your wages are for bureaucrats, the more provincial corruption you should have from those guys, because they are supplementing their income through other ways. So this might seem bad, but this should reduce provincial corruption. The problem I have with this is I don't know what effect this would really have in terms of my overall corruption. So I feel like this is something that I just really wouldn't use, because I think there's a couple other ones of these that are a little bit better. All corrupt officials, you lose 20% admin efficiency for 5 years. Negative 10 relations between the bureaucrats and the state, 25 mil points, negative 25% progress towards stability for negative 0.2 yearly provincial corruption for 10 years. Plus, going back to this one, there's a couple of reforms that you can do that increase wages, so I feel like this would become irrelevant rather quickly once you do a couple of those reforms. Whereas you can do this one and get a guaranteed, you know you're losing 0.2 provincial corruption for 10 years. Which, that's 2 provincial corruption. Now, I believe provincial corruption is the same as bureaucracy corruption, unless I'm mistaken. So, I'm not sure why you wouldn't want to do negative 10 bureaucracy corruption versus negative 2 provincial corruption. Yeah, because, I mean, there's only state corruption, provincial corruption. Pretty sure bureaucracy corruption is provincial corruption. And then the last one is revitalize the administration, 2% power costs, 25 admin, negative 10 relations, negative 25% progress towards stability, negative 1 yearly state reach for 5 years, and negative 15 bureaucracy corruption. Okay, so let's 5 more bureaucracy corruption than this one in exchange for negative 1 yearly state reach for 5 years. You lose 5 state reach. If your state reach is too high, like it was in my Vietnam campaign, then this is good twofold, because then you reduce your state reach and you also reduce a flat amount of provincial corruption. Unless I'm mistaken, and provincial corruption and bureaucracy corruption are now different things. As far as I knew it, bureaucracy corruption was always provincial corruption. I'm thinking this is probably the best one, from what I can see, because you lose 15 overall corruption, 5 state corruption, and bureaucracy corruption, or 15% stability increase interval, negative 10 relations between the bureaucrats and state, and 2 stability points, which, if you're in a position where you can go ahead and do grain and temporary tax relief, you get half a stability point from providing temporary tax relief, plus negative 20% stability increase interval, and then you get 25% from full grain provisions, and negative 30% stability increase interval. So that's negative 50% stability increase interval and 75% progress towards stability. So that's probably something I'll do a couple of times. And provincial corruption is increasing. Laws plus 30%. Economy 1.19. 1.119. Wages 1.114. Yeah, so those are increasing because of these. 40 bureaucratic influence, 80 state reach. Basic education. Can't do any of those right now because of the power situation. Alright, good to know there's ways to now just automatically reduce corruption, so that's good. But that the one that reduces it for 2 stability definitely seems like the better of the ones. Unless I'm just looking at it wrong. I haven't actually done any of those, so that's my initial thinking. Alright, because my ruler died, I have no consort now, which means I can go to the nobility. And there's a couple of things that are related to marriages. They both increase nobility power by... Well, they both increase nobility power. There's marry noble consort, which gives a consort 463. Her home gets -3 unrest. You get 25% progress towards stability, plus 12 relations between the aristocrats and the state, 10 noble loyalty. The other one gives some diplomatic rep, chance of new heir, aristocratic influence, plus 12 relations between the aristocrats and the state. Nobility gain 0.125% power for the next 5 years, and 7.5 noble loyalty. The nobility power is actually flat at 55. Because I'm losing money right now. 0.34 ducats. Nobility are making 200 ducats. My assumption is they own mostly farmland, so a good chunk of that is coming from farmland. So... thinking I'm gonna do... That's what, 1.25% power they would gain for 5 years. And noble loyalty. So that changed the consort, 553. That's weird, every time you refresh this, you get a new consort. A 144. Where's the 666? Hey, 663. My guy's 30. I'm pretty sure with Islamic countries, you can just choose an heir, right? I was thinking, since my guy is 30, so he could die. He's also a general. So if I do marry noble consort, that only gives an extra 2.5 noble loyalty for double the noble power gain, though. But it also gives a little bit of progress towards stability, and that's 663, obviously, and some local unrest. I'm gonna do this for now. Because I want to see if I can choose an heir, then that's not really worthwhile, but I don't want a regency council, especially at the start of the campaign, so take a sultana. And then I will go ahead and take farmland from them, assuming it hasn't been nerfed. Every province. It's 163 units of farmland, 50% of farmland in every province. Yeah, it looks about the same. You lose 1 hierarchy, 1 stability. 15 noble loyalty, 20 relations between the aristocrats and the state. They're at 28, so I can absorb that. I can absorb the stability loss. I think the problem with this is you lose hierarchy, and there's really no way to get hierarchy back. So that's what should be the thing that keeps people from doing this. I'm gonna do it anyway. Because it's at the start of the campaign. If that's 25 ducats, that's an extra 2 ducats per year. That's pretty powerful. Okay, yeah, you can choose. Okay, so... Alright, now I know. Highest natural leader, gregarious son. Go with, natural leader, sure. He's a 164. Okay. He's 11 monarch points overall. He's not a Murad, he's not a 546, but actually not too terrible. Could be worse, could be an Enrique. Mamluks have started influence on Kandar. Why? They're so far away. Did you ally them? I hate you. Ahriman and Mamluks. Mamluks, why? Stay out of our business up here. Why would the Mamluks ally them in the first place? Pretty bad. The Mamluks have 16,000 troops, so pretty far away, but they'd probably be able to come up here, so I am doing a spy network on these guys, so I'll probably not attack them then. I'll do a spy network on these guys then. Yeah, everybody's allied with everybody. Makes sense. See how much money I make at the end of the year. See if that farmland was worthwhile. Stability 0. A bubonic plague outbreak has spawned in Italy. Sucks for them. Should have taken baths. We're losing 6% stability. Every month. Depending on how much money I get from property, I might be able to do tax relief. I have 600 ducats in the treasury, so if I have a couple years of negative 2 or 3 ducats per month, that's fine, especially once I start starting wars. Apparently, I win a war, I get money anyway from winning the war. Alright. Okay, ducat 50. So it is a surplus. From 55 ducats in property, from property to 78, so an additional 23 ducats. So about 2 ducats per month then. Not bad. Alright, I'm gonna end this part here. I'm gonna get into a position where I can get a claim on one of these guys and then start the fighting. I can't fight the Romans until April 1359, so try and focus on Anatolia, then jump over to them, do that, move the capital, etc. So I'm gonna end this part here, pick up the next part. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.